Private equity firms rely heavily on executive search firms to support them with identifying and securing talent, both for within the private equity firm and the portfolio companies. However, like everything, not all executive search firms are made equal. Not all of them are the same. And just like private equity firms, they all have different level of services, different level of exposures to different industries, and therefore different expertise, and of course, different levels. Something I've done a lot of due diligence and research on is the best possible ways to identify talent. Now, too many private equity firms rely on executive search firms that use LinkedIn, which is a phenomenal tool and has revolutionized the recruitment industry. And possibly the reason why there's so many different recruitment agencies now is because of the access to be able to connection message, in-mail, and reach out to talent on that. Now, that's all good and said and done, but if all talent doesn't exist on LinkedIn, which a lot of it does, but also not everybody uses LinkedIn every day. Not everybody responds to messages. It's like everything. I'm sure you get bombarded every day with recruiters reaching out, with salespeople trying to sell you sales platforms, with insurers trying to sell you insurance, and various other methods. Like everything, social media platforms get crowded, they get full of adverts, they get less used, and it's not an effective way to be able to reach out to people, albeit it's one tool, but it shouldn't be your main one. What I created with Raw Selection is the 15-step process. This is 15 steps that every consultant follows through every process, for every search, for every client. Therefore enabling us to fill the most complicated, the most remote, the lower salary or below market salary compensations, working with the unknown firms to secure exceptional people and attract them and excite them into either the private equity firm or the portfolio company to drive that business to an exit or to complete more deals, more acquisitions of portfolio companies, and then eventually support them with driving them to an exit. The first thing we do at Raw Selection is we actually communicate with each other, which seems a bit old hat, but we have people here with extreme networks, extreme contacts who've interviewed thousands of candidates at portfolio level or private equity level, and therefore we want to see, is there an easy road in to the right network and the right talent pool to be able to connect with people quickly. So the first thing we do is speak internally, and we do a full brief, and we bring in anybody who's done similar or competing type searches in the past to therefore identify where we can go and where we can find these people. We have a huge proprietary database of previously interviewed candidates, which we will immediately reach out to see if they have the right skills, the right background, the right experience, and obviously attracted by the opportunity that's being presented. And these candidates sit within our custom-built CRM with all their data available for us to be able to assess them quickly and understand if they'll be a fit for your criteria. We have something which I'm very proud of. We have a research team that's based out in India that works exclusively with Raw Selection. They have built a proprietary data network and set of the private equity industry. We spent a lot of time, a lot of investment, and a lot of software technology in building out basically the private equity industry and their portfolio companies. For the areas that we play heavily within our portfolio industries, which currently sits within healthcare, industrials, which sits across aerospace and defense, building products, business services, industrial services as a broad industry, and the healthcare services sitting across medical devices, medical capital equipment, healthcare services, B2C, B2B type level, and various other different industries that we play in. We have built the portfolio companies that are private equity backed in the low middle market and even in the large cap and mid cap type firms. The reason we've done this is we're able to nurture that talent from an early stage. We share information like this that's obviously generated towards private equity chief executives and also earlier stage individuals, either in investment banking, management consulting, that want to get into private equity. And of course, those individuals that already sit within private equity firms and how we can support them. We nurture that talent so they know who Raw Selection is. We nurture that talent so when they are looking at considering an opportunity, we get first-hand information and we get to interview those people, screen them, and then potentially share them with you for your opportunity. But of course, what we have is their data and their information to be able to outreach to them. We're able to identify the associates, the vice presidents, the principals in the private equity firms to be able to contact them, the chief executives, the CFOs, and the one level below within the portfolio companies who are already private equity backed and already have the experience and knowledge you need in order to grow and scale your private equity backed businesses. We know these people, we've already engaged with these people, and they know who we are. So when we reach out, they know there's a good opportunity and we have something to share with them that they will listen to us on. Another area we have is when every time we complete a search process, we save that data and we save that information. So everybody we've reached out to, we have that, again, as proprietary data. So if we've completed searches where sometimes, not always, but sometimes those lists go up to 1,000 plus people, regularly, usually around 500, we'll have their information, we'll be able to reach out to them again quickly. They're already tagged, we know what industry they work, we know where they're at, and we know that if we did a e-commerce search for a business, for a chief financial officer role based in America, like we've got at the moment, or a chief executive role for a building products manufacturer, like also we've just completed for Middle Ground Capital, we can look back at that data and we can pull that information, allowing us to be able to reach the market even faster and even quicker, leveraged obviously with our proprietary data that we have already built into our CRM. Most recruitment firms haven't done any of this, what I've just shared. The first thing they'll do is they'll go to LinkedIn. Now we're starting now to look outside of the information that we already have within our database. And this is where obviously we have a lot of proprietary data and information. We now begin to do our external outreach to make sure we're covering that 100% of the talent pool available for your position. The first thing we'll do is we'll look at competing in similar companies, whether that be private equity firms or portfolio companies, to identify the executives or the investment or back office deal professionals in those businesses to then approach them with regards to the opportunity. We also leverage and utilize outside data sets such as Grata and Merger is two of the options that we use, as well as multiple others, and we'll complete outreach to those individuals via their platforms or via our own mediums of emails, LinkedIn's, etc., cells to give them a call and outreach to them. Another unique area we have is we have over 100,000 LinkedIn first connections across the business. Now, that's fairly important when you're looking to reach out to somebody and you could already drop them a direct message. You already have their contact information for them. So now we're starting to do that outreach. And bear in mind, we haven't done all the cold outreach yet. We're still on the initial phases of the people that are warm, people that know to us, and people that we have connections and contacts with to be able to get into the talent pool. We'll then look at a referral basis and hammering as many of these people that we've spoken to and asking them, who do you know, who can you recommend, etc., with every contact point that we have across any different process of any candidate or potential candidate that we speak to. We'll then continue now and begin to look at utilizing our research team. Our research team will use all sorts of different platforms, one of which is including the LinkedIn that we spoke about earlier, to be able to map out and identify profiles in the particular industries. We use things like LinkedIn, we use things like old press releases, which happen with every private equity firm on an acquisition in the most part. And we use various different methods to be able to identify any potential individual that has either currently worked for a business, previously worked for an organization, that mirrors and matches the type of profile that we want to run. For example, if it's a chief executive search, we'll look at all the different businesses that currently play in that space, all the different businesses that are similar to that space, and then all the executives that currently work in those positions, but also previously worked in those positions, whether it be private equity backed. We all know that cycles happen, 5-year, 7-year cycles, sometimes 3, with regards to executive change as businesses exit and therefore new private equity firms come in. So it's not as simple as just going, yes, we've reached out to everyone who competes with those businesses right now. It's got to be individuals that have previously worked there, who've recently exited, etc. from there. We then compile all that data, and then that goes to consultants then to work through and begin outreach. And we use various different platforms to complete that outreach. We also have a very big online presence. We have thousands and thousands of subscribers to our private equity podcast, but we also have, therefore, thousands of subscribers to our LinkedIn processes, as well as other platforms that we distribute, such as also YouTube. We utilize this as our digital marketing presence and our digital marketing awareness to be able to promote. We can use paid advertising, and that's not just job adverts. We also use, of course, the classics like LinkedIn, providing it's not a confidential process, but we have a full digital marketing strategy that we deploy for every single retained and engaged search mandate to be able to identify those profiles and putting opportunities in front of them, even if they potentially are ignoring our outreach because they're happy where they're at. We can do something different as an advert that pops up or a job post that is positioned through, albeit with your job posting, you're kind of advertising to the people that are actively looking. It's getting those individuals in that 80% of the talent pool that isn't actually looking right now, but we want to attract to your opposition because it offers equity, because it offers a fast track to partner position, and whatever else that we can sell with regards to that position. Overall, this unique approach from our perspective gives us that opportunity to deliver. We have protection on a level of service, and we offer a money-back guarantee on any upfront deposit for any commencement of any process. The reason we can offer that is because of what I've just shared. We aren't just looking under a rock and hoping there's a candidate. We're taking a full process and a full proactive nature. We understand the importance of talent. We understand the importance of individuals coming to a business and being successful. We also recognize that if we get the right person in the business, that retains a relationship with you. If we get the right person in the business, that does shine on us. And if we get the right people for your organization can grow, whether that be a private equity firm or portfolio company. And when businesses tend to grow and do well, they tend to need more talent, and the snowball effect happens. And this is, coupled with other things, is why I believe that more and more US-based private equity firms and European firms are starting to turn to firms like, and of course, Raw Selection to support them with their executive search processes in the firm and also in the portfolio companies. Of course, if you're looking to secure talent either for your private equity firm or your portfolio company, then please do reach out to me personally at Raw Selection. I'll be delighted to discuss the exact requirement and talent individual criteria that you have for your particular search and look at how we can support you in identifying and securing those right profiles, all protected by Raw Selection's money-back guarantee and exceptional track record of delivery.